Hey there! In this video, I'm going to show you how to make these beaded beads using right angle weave. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some 4mm beads. I'm using some Swarovski bicones. They come in packets of 50, and you're going to need about 30 of them, so it works out great. You're going to need 2 needles. I'm using 2 big eye needles because I really like the fact that you can string them quite easily. Need some beading thread. I'm using FireLine in the smoke color, size B. And I've got my trusty thread zapper. Now this is using right angle weave, like I said, but this is using the 2 needle method. I'm going to cut off about 4 feet. I'll zap off 4 feet. And I'm going to thread each end through one of my big eye needles. And how you use these, I've explained it in other videos, but I'm just going to show you again. I'm going to open up my big eye needle, insert one end through, pull it down, and it'll stay there. I'm going to do the same thing with my other needle on the other end. Okay, now we can begin. With my right needle, I'm going to pick up 5 Swarovski bicones. You can use any other kind of 4mm bead you'd like. Like here I used some Czech glass drux, or you can use fire polish. I'm going to bring those 5 Swarovskis down to the center of my thread. I'm going to take the left hand needle now. I'm going to go back going the opposite direction through that last bead that I added. I'm going to grab both of my needles and make sure that this loop ends up right in the middle of my thread. Like so, and you created a little circle. One unit, if you will. So I'm going to make another adjacent unit, and this bead, where my thread is coming out of, that is going to be the first bead in that unit, so I'm only going to need 4 additional beads. I'm going to pick them up with my right hand needle. 1, 2, 3, 4. And once again, that last bead that I added, I'm going to take my left needle, go through crisscross, going the other direction. I'm going to pull both taut. Now I have 2 adjacent units. Now I'm going to take my left needle, I'm going to thread it through the next bead, the closest bead to the left. So now, as you can see, I'm making units of 5. This first unit is the central unit. I'm going to build rows of 5 or units of 5 all the way around that central unit. And now that I have my thread coming out of this bead and this bead, I have 2 beads in this next unit. So if I want a unit of 5, I only need to pick up 3 more beads. As always, take your left needle and crisscross and pull tight. Once again, left needle, left bead, always on the outside perimeter. Pull tight, and now I only need 3 more beads. 1, 2, 3. Crisscross on that last one, using your left needle, going back the opposite direction. And again, I'm going to go through the next bead to the left with my left needle. You can kind of see a pattern's being formed. That is the central unit, and there are so far 3 units surrounding it. So I'm building a 5th unit by picking up 3 additional beads and going back through the opposite direction with my left needle on the last bead. If you pull tight right now, you can already see that a half dome shape is appearing. So this is my last unit that I'm adding on the top half of my sphere. Instead of just going through 1, I'm going through 2 to the left. So I'm taking my left needle, going through the bead directly to the left, and then directly to the left again on the outside perimeter. Now, as you can see, I have 3 beads, and I want to create 1 more unit of 5, so I need 2 more beads. 1, 2. As always, left needle goes back through that last bead, and you pull tight. And look, you already have half of your sphere done. So now how do we build onto that? Well, just like we've been doing, we're going to go 1 bead to the left with your left needle, pull tight, and since there are 2 beads there, pick up 3, because we're making units of 5 beads, cross back through with your left needle on the last bead, left needle goes through not only the bead directly to the left, but the one directly to the left of that as well. And since we need to build another unit of 5, this time we already have 3 going on, we need 2 more. Crisscross with the left needle through the last bead. Left needle goes through 1 bead to the left and 2 beads to the left. Once again, we have 3 beads in this unit. Pick up 2 more with your right. Crisscross on the last one with the left. And again, go through 1 bead to the right, to the left, I'm sorry, and a 2nd bead to the left. We have 3 beads there, only need to pick up 2. 1, 2. Go back through the last one with your left needle. Pull tight. This is almost done. In fact, this is going to be our last round, and as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 beads. So instead of just going 1 to the left or 2, this time we're going to go 3 with your left needle through the beads to the left. All we need, since we already have 4, is, you guessed it, 1, and that makes 5. One last time. Crisscross back through, pull tight. Yay! Now, as you'll notice, this very last round up here doesn't have thread around it, and your thread is going in 2 different directions. You want your thread to meet up so you can tie a knot and you can tighten up your sphere. So I'm going to take my right hand needle, I'm going to go through this last round here until it meets back up with my left thread. And if your sphere doesn't feel too stiff at this point, this is the part that will solve that, because you're going to tie a square knot or a surgeon's knot. So I'm going to tie once, and you can feel it right when you do that first knot that this is turning into a nice solid structure. I'm going to tie another overhand knot. All you have to do now is weave in the rest of your thread. So as long as you're going around those units of 5, you can go anywhere you want. You can even tie a couple more knots and weave in some more. I'd say that's good for right now, so I'm gonna cut my right thread off, weave the rest of my left thread through, and I'm done.